Proud Cat Lover, and today I'm going to tell you a few reasons why I love crested geckos, which I am holding Ember right now, and she's doing her little whistling that they do, which I think they do when they're excited. You can see here she's looking as gorgeous as ever, fired up. Because I was thinking the other day, a lot of people ask other YouTubers that have reptiles, what really got them into reptiles, or what they really love about the reptile that they keep the most. And what I love about crested geckos, one of them is that they can jump. That is one thing I always thought was so cool about them. Second thing was that their toes, where they're, have little sticky pads, and they can climb glass. They can climb, really any surface. Sometimes they do have trouble climbing glass if the glass is wet. But they come in so many different colors. Their crowns, or their crest, you can say, which, is their head, can be so different. They can be real spiky and real cool looking, or they can have no crown or no crest at all and just be flat with no ridges. And I just like their overall look. They're really cool. They're very docile. I have heard stories, though, of people that have males that are a little crazy. And Blaze is kind of that way. He kind of is very hilarious with his personality, but he's more of the wild type, as where Ember, you can see she just sits here in my hand. She lets me do this, She isn't real wild. Anyway, guys, I had to pause it for a second because my mom was asking me a question. But anyway, back to, talking about crested geckos. When I first got Ember, I was very skittish. Like, I wasn't sure if I could handle such a small, fragile feeling baby, because when I got her, she was about as long as my middle finger here, which was about 3 inches, and obviously she's now about 5 inches without her tail. She's more probably close to her max length, because with her tail it's another 3 inches, so it's probably around 8 inches with everything. But another thing I like is, like I said, with color, I really like color, but I also like how with the genetics, I want to learn more about genetics, because I do want to breed crested geckos. I probably will first keep the babies that I get, unless I ended up having more babies than I could take care of, because I don't want to be too overrun with babies when I first start breeding, because, I still have a job and stuff, and I can't be home, 24/7 taking care of baby crested geckos, which I wish that I could do that as a job, because a lot of people do it to make money, and it'd more or less be a passion for me. I mean, I would kind of need the money a little, but I wouldn't just sell it, buy babies to anybody, because I want them to go to responsible pet owners, which anyone who breeds, whether they're in it for the money or they're in it for passion, hopefully, a lot of them that I've watched on YouTube or even on Facebook, a lot of them do want them to go to good homes. They're not out for it, for the money that bad to just get rid of them. Most people are responsible. So, but with Ember, some people that are newer subscribers might not know, I did get her from a pet store. I got her from Petco. The Petco I got her from was a lot better than the other Petco, because there's a couple Petcos in a town that's 25 miles away from where I live. I have to travel to go to the pet store. And I had gone to the one that was the furthest to travel, because the other one just didn't seem as well kept. It could have probably been the manager that would be, what would keep it up. Or it could just be the store manager that, is over that region or whatever, But, so that's where I got her, and it was on sale, all crested geckos were on sale that day for $25 instead of $50. And she was the only one, there was one other one in the tank, but she was pretty much the only one with such amazing patterns, the harlequin, and the flaming that she has on her back looks really cool. And her tail pattern in general, it was really neat too. And, she was really jumpy at first, but I mean, any crested gecko that you get that's a baby is going to be pretty jumpy. And as you can see, I've worked with her so much that once I get her calmed down, she'll kind of jump a little, but she's not trying to do it to get away from me. She's just doing it because she wants to jump. So, yeah, she's a real sweetie. She's only pooped on me once the entire time I've had her, and she's almost 2. So that's not too bad. So, but, yeah, it's just, I just love them. And, this is pretty much me just kind of talking to you guys and kind of, you know, letting you know where I stand with crested geckos. I really would like to pursue my passion with them. I mean, I've learned over the few past years that there's no other pets that I like better than reptiles, aside from cats. And once all my cats pass away, I'll probably just have one, just because, you know, I have 4 cats right now, and it's kind of expensive, and you never know until, like, they have to go to the vet. Or you have ones like mine where all 4 of them eat a different kind of cat food. And one, like Blossom's food is like $20 for a 7-pound bag. Rose's food is like $25. And so, like, right there is pretty much almost $50 for 2 of the foods. Roxanne gets canned food, and it only lasts for 30 days because it's, 30 cans of food, and I pretty much go through 1 can of food per day. And her belly, she'll kind of let you see it here. It's kind of cool too, her belly pattern. But yeah, anyway, cats are very expensive compared to reptiles. I mean, I've never had to go to the vet with any of my reptiles. But food-wise, like, her Pangea bag has lasted for pretty much a year. I mean, I did buy a new bag because it's getting low. And because now I have Blaze to feed. But, I mean, it's pretty good to just spend, I think my bag is a medium-sized Pangea. I think it's probably around, like, $10? I'll have to look. For the size of bag that I get. And, I feed them every 2 days. And it's normally, like, crickets and then Pangea. And then crickets and Pangea. Or I'll do Pangea twice and crickets once. Just to kind of mix up their diet so that they're not just getting tired of eating one thing all the time. But I'll get Blaze out real quick and kind of hold him a little bit and let Ember go back in the tank. Lay under her heat lamp and everything. And kind of show Blaze off to you a little bit. Hey guys, so here's Blaze. And as you can see, he is really cool. Look at his belly patterns and everything. He is a tricolor harlequin pinstripe, or at least that's what Pangea said, but after he arrived, you can see that his pinstripe actually ends down by his tail. So that was kind of a little frustrating, but oh well. If he turns out to be a boy, because right now Blaze is looking like a girl, and Ember is actually looking like a boy. So, it would be kind of amusing if genders were swapped, but I somehow have this feeling that I'm going to end up with 2 boys or 2 girls, because for a while I thought Ember was a girl, but now I'm not sure because I have a jeweler's loop that I got that is, I think, 15 times magnification. And I looked at both of them to try to find pores, and I couldn't find any pores on either of them. And they're both pretty much 30 grams right now. I'm going to weigh them soon. But last time I weighed Ember, she was 29.98 grams, so she's pretty much 30 grams. And, I'd assume she'd be showing signs of being a male by then if she was, so I'm assuming she's a female. And Blaze is like 3 grams behind her last time I weighed him, and he is not showing any signs of having any manly parts coming in. And I haven't seen any pores on him as well. So it's very confusing. But you can see his tail is really pretty. It's almost completely white. He is just really pretty when he's fired up. Right now he's fired down. But you can see he actually has these white lines. He has scales that actually sticks off his body. And I don't think he'll actually let me hold him. So you can see. Here, you silly boy. But yeah, his belly was really cool when I got him and saw his stomach. I was like, his belly is gorgeous. I've had him out a few minutes because I was waiting for my brother to get done brushing his teeth before I start videoing again, because that's what you'd hear in the background. As you can see, Blaze's crest, where his crown is very wide compared to Ember's. It actually hangs over the cheekbone, which is most desired right now. Ember's does not hang over the cheekbone. You can see her cheeks from the top or her bones when you look from the top of their head. His crest is very well defined and what a lot of people would want. His ridges on his back that go along, I think the back is called the dorsal, but don't take my word for it because I need to look. But he actually has ridges. Oh, come here, you silly boy. And that's pretty cool. Ember has a little bit of ridges, but I almost wonder if pinstripes are more, the ridges are more noticeable because of them being white. She does have them sticking up. It's just harder to see with her because they're all brown. She has dotted pinstripes, so I was hoping when I got him that his pinstripe would complement her pinstripe and maybe the babies might be born partially pinstriped or something. But, he's pretty cool. And he's mellowed out now, but when I first got him, he was jumping everywhere. He was just crazy boy. But I think he'll let me, he still doesn't really trust me very much to hold him like this. But that's his back patterns, his, type of flaming. You can kind of see his patterns on the side of him. Oh, do you see yourself? So, yeah, and I forgot to mention one of the other things I think is cool about crested geckos, the fact that they have the prehensile tails, kind of like some mammals and monkeys do. Excuse me. But, yeah, they're just, all in all, pretty awesome pets. But definitely, I would suggest anyone that's interested in wanting to try to get a crested gecko to definitely do your homework. I read 2 books, and the first one that was the best one I read more than once, and I still have them just to kind of go over as reference if I need any advice. Because the first one goes into depth pretty well about breeding, and that was good. Then there were some other things, but I would definitely do research because what the pet store workers tell you, or, if you're getting from a breeder, that'd be a little bit more reliable. But if you were to get one at a pet store, research is pretty important because half the time they don't know what they're talking about. You don't have to be, knowledgeable with animals to work at a pet store, or at least that's what I've heard from employees that have worked at Petco and PetSmart before that don't anymore, that are in my reptile club, is you don't have to know about pets to be hired. So, yeah, a lot of what they tell you is false just because they don't know any better. It's not their fault, but they just don't. So, they are a tropical, reptile. They like to have humidity anywhere from 50% to 80%, depending on how dry it is in your area, how hot it is. They, like temperatures more like 65 to 75. 80 is like the max, and some people are crazy and put it all the way up to 85, and those are the people that just don't know what they're doing. Because that's pretty hot for a tropical reptile. Now, if you had a leopard gecko, they like temperatures to be like 85 to 95, no hotter, and that's just heat pad that they're laying on that's, spaced with either eco-earth because that's safer. Some people do paper towels or tile. So, it's being spaced out. It's not like them actually laying on top of the heat source. But, yeah, and I have 25-watt light bulbs, well, reptile bulbs, that I have because it takes about an hour for them to heat up to 80 degrees. And so that's good for me because just in case it accidentally gets to 80, it's not going to get to 85 or 90 really quick because it's so slow. It's such a low wattage, So, and of course they are an arboreal reptile, which is cool too. They like height more than space to run around. They like to climb, they like to hide in foliage. They love insects, but of course I do give them their crested gecko diet because it's not really that healthy to feed just insects. I would be feeding dubia roaches, but my breeding colony is still kind of, I'm waiting for the juveniles to become adults, so, they're taking their sweet time. So right now just feeding crickets that are eating a special diet that's calcium, chicken food, fish flakes, and kitten food, mixed in the calcium powder, which I already said calcium, but the powder, and they're mixed in that, and it's very high in protein for them, and it just gut loads them better so that they're more protein in the insect when the crested gecko consumes it. So, and there was someone I was watching that used that diet for their dubias, which is what my dubias eat as well. And my hissing cockroaches eat it. So, I would suggest trying that diet, and someday I'll just kind of put a picture or show a little video of, you know, putting it together and stuff. But the chicken food is 22% protein, and you can buy it at Orchland's. The fish flakes is the tropical Tetra. I think it's Tetra brand, and it's the tropical fish flakes, and I think it's like in the 30s or 40s with protein. I can't remember the exact number. And then the kitten food, I think, is around the same amount as the chicken food, pretty close or a little bit higher. So right there, all three of the ingredients getting mixed in are high in protein, higher than a cricket. Cricket protein is 16%, as where a dubia roach is 35 or 36% protein. So by feeding them this food, you raise their protein value and make them a lot healthier for the crested gecko. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much my little video. Show you Blaze one more time. I enjoyed visiting about them and just kind of overall general information about them as well. And like I said, they make a great pet as long as you know what you're getting into, because they are long-lived. You know, any reptile really is. Well, some of them. Like green anoles, like if you know what you're doing, you can keep an anole alive, or a long-tailed lizard or grass lizard, but they're just so much smaller reptiles, and I've just not really had luck with them. My green anole's pretty tiny, and she seems to lose weight a lot easier than the crested geckos. She doesn't eat on her own. She doesn't hunt the crickets on her own, and I just wish there was some food source that I could give her that wasn't insects, just because she won't eat them on her own. So, anyway guys, thanks for watching my little video, and have a good day.